Now, live from Artie's Cut Rate Liquor Store, shooting range, candle shop, bowling alley, massage parlor, it's the Dave and Doc Podcast.
Hello, hello.
Happy night.
Happy night.
I didn't know that the intro was rolling. I don't know if you caught any background noise.
Yeah, the mics are all down. So, yeah.
That was good.
They're all down.
That was good. How are you, man?
I'm doing good.
Busy weeks this week. Good grief.
It was, for sure.
Shell shocked. It's all right.
Episode 72 of the Dave and Doc Podcast. I'm Dave.
And I am Doc.
All things Dave and Doc. You can find them right there on our website. Open up your favorite browser, even if it's Internet Explorer, and type www.daveanddoc.com. That's Dave, A-N-D, Doc, D-O-C.com. And once DNS takes over, it will point you to the right site. And that's how that works.
Boom. Help you out. Mama said help you out.
Mama said.
Episode 72. Fridge. The fridge.
We're 72 episodes.
William the Refrigerator Perry. This episode's for you.
I'm sure people are drinking their coffee and listening.
We caught a little flack over that.
Yeah.
We did. People
yeah.
are little, that's okay. That's okay. I don't like coffee.
It's
okay.
perfectly fine.
Here's
Here's what I can tell you.
I had a
Sorry.
picture of the fridge on my back of my closet door. Yeah. And he was like this.
The fridge.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know, you folks.
And I should have had Walter instead of the fridge.
All you folks that get mad about your coffee thing, you just paid $10 for hot water.
You did.
I'm just throwing that out there. $10.
What about cold coffee? What about the iced coffee?
That's even worse. You can get that out of a creek.
Oh, I'm frozen in time.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's getting a little.
That was kind of scary.
It's a little weird. Yeah,
that kind of freaked me out.
Yeah,
that can't continue.
Yeah.
Okay, we're okay.
No, it might continue. I don't know.
No. I'm like the Flash. Anyway, so yeah, pour your cup of Joe. Listen to the show.
Yeah.
Oh, don't you know? Big week this week though. President's Day.
Yeah.
Went to the moon.
First
private landing.
Yeah.
Busy weeks. All-star game.
Yeah.
Nobody plays defense.
No, they don't.
So I thought about all these things, and I thought about what we could do for some dad jokes. I think we're going to do some space jokes just because it's been a minute. And of course, now there's the initiative because we're trying to get back to put a human back on the moon to try to beat, I think, Japan. I think that is one of Japan's things.
It's always we got to beat some country.
So we're trying to beat them.
It was the Russians last time in 69.
That's right. And we did it.
Yeah.
We are still the only country that actually put a human on the moon.
I mean,
India put a craft, Russia, China, but we are the only one that got a human on the moon. And we did it multiple times. So I don't know why we're freaking out about this. I'm like, they need to play the Nelly song, I am number one. 2 is not a winner, and 3 nobody remembers.
I mean, my inner Alex Jones comes out though. I'm like, did we go to the moon?
Oh, stop.
I don't know.
Stop.
I don't know.
Stop.
Sure we did, folks. Sure we did.
Stop.
Sure we did.
Stop.
We went to the moon.
So why did the sun go to school? Because these are space jokes.
Okay.
Why did the sun go to school?
Why is that?
To get a little brighter.
Well, of course, right?
Right. Why couldn't the astronaut book a hotel on the moon?
Why?
Because it was full.
Right.
Yeah, it was good. Where do astronauts keep their astronaut food snacks?
Where's that?
In their lunchbox.
Well,
in their lunchbox. What was the first animal in space?
A monkey.
True, but actually it was the cow that jumped over the moon.
Good Lord.
Why did Mickey Mouse go to outer space?
I don't know.
He was looking for Pluto.
Well, of course he was.
Which is no longer a planet.
That's right.
This time I'm the slow mover one. Usually it's catching you, but it's got me today.
Yeah.
What did the alien say when he was out of room?
What?
I'm all spaced out. That's good. Why aren't astronauts hungry when they get to space?
Why?
This is the play on word. They had a big launch.
Of course they did.
I'm done.
Of course they did.
Oh no! What did Mars say
Oh,
to
here we go.
Saturn? What did Mars say to
What
Saturn?
did Mars say to say what?
Give me a ring sometime.
All the single ladies. All the
single ladies. All the single ladies. Put your
Hey-
hands up.
Hey, big doings this week. We
Lots of
had
things.
a catastrophe yesterday.
Oh man, it was like cell phone again.
Yeah, it was.
We've had Snowmageddon and now the cell phones.
It was ATT again. And
How about that? Did
and-
other services go down? Because that's what someone had said,
So-
and I was like,
so-
was it just?
So Verizon had the dumbest quote, and I think they were just throwing shade at AT&T. And then they later kind of backtracked a little bit and like tried to say something nice. But like a spokesman for Verizon said, we had a little trouble this morning as well, but it's just when people from our network are trying to call people that are on AT&T's network.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's throwing shade.
You know,
That's
right. I mean, but apparently T-Mobile didn't have any problems.
okay. That's what I was curious. Somebody, like I said, somebody at work said, no, it's actually more than one service. And I was like, I don't know.
I do think there might have been like some kind of hiccup here and there, but like for the most part, no. I think it was just AT&T.
It was definitely AT&T.
And the first thing that comes to mind, right, and because that's the society we live in, is the first thing that comes to mind is you're terrified it's a cyber attack or something, right? I mean, that's what you think. You think it's China.
Here come the Russians.
Yeah, it's
Putin.
It's Putin. It's Putin pushing the button and something's happening. But yeah, so like my phone service was out. So we're with the
Yeah.
and and now luckily, like I was here and I have Wi-Fi calling and stuff. So I was actually taking calls on my phone. Like I never had an issue like where, whatever.
Yeah, because I could call Laura because we have the too.
Yeah.
And because she was on her Wi-Fi, I'm on my Wi-Fi. It seemed like at work we could
Yeah.
So it was no big deal. But I did tell her, I was like, hey, if somebody's trying to call you, it's not it's not going to happen.
Yeah. So and it went on for hours. Like I think I remember I got up around 4 a.m. or something, 4 or 4:30 to check like just messages and whatever, just to see if anything was blowing up, because that's what I do because I don't sleep. And so I looked and I'm like, well, that's interesting. I have full Wi-Fi service, but no cell phone service. And I was like, I really don't care. So I just went back to, whatever. I just go back to bed.
I'm going to bed. That's it.
So I went back to sleep. And then like the next morning, I'm like, oh, so something must be wrong. And I was reading the news. I'm like, sure enough, like they were only reporting like a little over 70,000 people, but I want to say that it was way more than that. That there was like tons and tons of people, but I just don't think that I don't know. I feel like they didn't, like all the people didn't.
You think
report.
they might have been minimizing?
I think they were.
But
Apparently, AT&T came back today and said it was a software update.
Oh,
that caused the corruption.
Sure it was.
And that caused the issue.
Sure it was.
But there's still people clamoring that it was a cyber attack. The government's involved, right? They're actually, the FCC won't let me be, but they're checking out AT&T.
Won't let me be me, but let me see. They try to shut me down on MTV.
Yeah, so
that's a good Frozen pose right there.
Right? My guess is we're talking about this Frozen thing, but as it records, it's not actually going to be there.
Oh.
So like we're talking about it, but people are not going to be able to see it.
I bet they'll be able to see it.
I don't know.
It's going to be fun. That one of you kind of looking like you're having a big time.
Look at that.
Let me show you my O face. Oh.
Yeah, that is a little annoying.
I mean, hey, you had your head kind of back. And
I did. I was going after it.
I had to tear that sucker up.
But yeah, but here's the thing.
Made an evening for myself.
So right. So AT&T going down and speaking of having an evening for yourself, AT&T going down. It was funny. Well, first of all, hey, you didn't even know I had this, but this is so their tech guy, when he realized he was the one that downloaded it. Right, I have exclusive audio of him when it happened. Oh shit! And that was it. But with AT&T talking about it though, what's funny is that their spokesman the first day said, "We realize there's some problems." It's like, well, no, you've got an outage. It's some problems.
There's something wrong.
And like just listening to his statement, it just made me. It channeled my inner A team. And my inner Mr. T. So while he was talking, I just thought,
cut out the jibber jabber.
That's. You want to hear it again?
Yeah.
Here to get, yeah. I think.
Yes, I do.
Cut out the jibber jabber.
Yeah, one more time because I just think it's
love
hilarious.
him. Love
Cut out the
Mr.
jibber
T.
jabber.
I do too. I love me some Mr. T, but that's that's what it sounded like. But
That's the best.
the funny thing though was like it really, you think about it seriously, right? Like if there actually was a cyber attack and all of our cellular networks were out, right? Like, there was people going nuts, right? Because, a man needs his porn in the middle of the day. And if you don't have Wi-Fi, or don't want to be on the work network or whatever.
You take a lot of bathrooms breaks, Jimmy. What are you doing?
What's going on in the bathroom?
I just put my phone on airplane mode. What's the matter with you?
But it made me realize
that's what makes you show people addicted to their phones too, because they're like freaking out about it. And it's like, all right, we might have a little problem here because we're getting a little shaky.
But you think about just like your office,
but
right?
communication's not good.
But you get a text message from you guys to do like a check-in beforehand,
yes.
Right? And you fill out the questions, which I always just have fun with. It's like, is anything wrong? Bleeding anus. I'm like, I don't care.
Broken crack pipe in my urethra. Is that normal? They crushed it in there.
But you know what I mean? It made you realize like how many businesses rely on that. Like 911 services and police departments are like posting, which is funny. They were posting online. It's like, well, if all you have is cellular data, they're not getting those posts. But, they're posting online and stuff like, hey, we understand that the cell networks are down and we understand all this, but, there's whatever, there's issues. So it's funny to me. Like it really just, and again, it didn't really impact me at all. Right.
Sure.
Like, it really didn't. But it impacted a lot of people. And that was it's kind of a wake up call, I think, to kind of realize how much we actually rely on our cell phones. Now, some people are just addicted to their phones. You're right. I don't think I think that's pretty, we all know that. But at the same time, it's kind of scary though to think about.
No, I agree, and I'm not a huge with my 8S and all the things. I'm not a huge techie. You know this,
right?
And so it is bad the reliance that we have. It's just like when our electronic medical record goes down. Even though when they sold it to us, they said, "Oh, this will never go down." Yeah, liars. It's like you're handcuffed. You can't see any of the patient's data when you're in the visit with them. You can't see their vitals. You can't see anything. We just kind of go back with paper for a second, but then, you have to wait for it to come back up because you've got to document it in the medical records. It's really just a pain. And like I said, you can't see anything. There's no visibility without that being online.
Yeah.
And that's a huge reliance. Now, when it's working, it's fantastic because you can go back and look at all the stuff with a lot more ease because it's already filed and organized. You don't have a folder that could fall apart at any time or a chart that could bust apart and cause a problem.
Right.
So anyway, but we're extremely reliant on the technology now. It's a little bit scary.
Well, some people couldn't even get into their house.
Right.
Because that's how they unlock the doors.
That's what that's what I'm saying.
And we're not far from it. Like we have a code to get into the front.
Yeah.
But like if that doesn't work, we have apps. I don't even have a key to the house with me.
Right.
I don't even carry a key to my own house with me.
I got keys.
Yeah. You all might have a key to our house and I don't. That would not surprise me. Because Lord knows we give them out.
I like keys. We have keys.
Yeah. So it's just, like our garage door, right? Like we can just open the garage door. We can turn the alarm system on and off and all that stuff, right? Because I'm a tech guy.
Because I'm the tech master, baby. I put you out from here, baby.
That's my dating profile.
Tech master. Tech master.
Tech master 69. That's me. It's me. But it was scary though.
34.5.
34.5. It's just half as much fun. But it was scary though, just to think about like how much we rely on it. And then, it was out for like 5 hours and, the news agencies were reporting it. And it was
a huge deal. And everybody was freaking out about it. No, they were freaking out at work. And of course we have different phone service for like the landline stuff. So it didn't affect anything like that. And our internet service was fine. So, but yeah, everybody was worried. What if the school sends an update? What do we do? I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what to tell you.
Sorry.
By the way,
we're still going to work.
By the way, the Wi-Fi, the AP,
Mm-hmm.
the wireless access point. When I say AP, the WAP, the wireless access point.
I knew that was coming.
Not joking. In your all's office is in the wrong spot. Just to let you know, it's in the wrong spot.
Is that like the G spot?
No, it's not even close to the G spot. It's like the Q spot.
The wireless access point.
The WAP.
The WAP is in the wrong spot.
It's better known as an AP. Most people just call it an access point.
Okay.
So like the AP, it's in the wrong spot because it's in your front lobby on a wall facing outward, where it should be a few of them and them in the ceiling facing downward. Just to let you know. I know your IT department's on top of it. I believe that wholeheartedly, but it drives me nuts when I go and I just want to get there 30 minutes early and say, I'm just going to fix this. Like, let me just do
Man,
this.
I wish you would.
I will. I mean, you got keys to the joint. We'll go there tonight after this and I'll just fix it. It's in the dumbest spot possible.
So here's my question. Cause I don't know the answer to this.
Okay.
Why did they do that? Because I mean, we didn't do that.
I can tell
because
you,
we don't know how to do that.
I can tell you what here people make the mistake with access points. Okay.
Have you ever seen like where the network is? It's adjacent to my office in this closet looking thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not ideal.
Is it a ventilated closet? Like, is there air in there, or is it just?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, it's
Suspect.
Well, I mean, there's a
Wait, what did the kids say? Sus.
It's a little sus. We'll talk about it later.
It's sus.
We'll talk about it. So let's get
Cut
back.
out the jibber jabber.
Cut out the jibber jabber. I pity the fool. That's right. I pity the fool. So with the app, with the AP, the WAP, the AP, us in the business, we call it the AP.
Here's what happens sometimes.
So why they do that?
So here's my guess.
You down with AP? Yeah, you know me.
I don't know this, but my guess is that in other offices, perhaps, someone complained that works the front area that their signal wasn't very great. And they said, why can't it just be closer to me? And they catered to that one person. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but it happens all the time. Okay, we'll just put it right here. So it's right here. Well, it actually works worse that way. That's not how those are supposed to work. So now you can put them on the wall, like facing. I mean, that is a mode that you can do, and you can actually change the way the signal works. But it's not ideal. So here's an example. Cell phone towers. Are they up high or are they down low?
They're underground.
Yeah. So
it's like a net. Is that kind of how you would describe it?
Yeah. So I mean, you want it.
It has to.
Yeah. It's how it attenuates, right?
Right.
So, yeah. So by putting it on the wall, while those people close to it won't know the difference, right? Because it's working fine for them. People in the rest of the office, however, might see a service degradation because, well, holy shit, it's on a effing wall. That shouldn't be. And it drives me nuts every time I see it. It's been like that for years. Yeah. I'm generally so fixated on the TV that I can't even get to the AP. I just need keys to the joint and a weekend. That's all I need, right? That's all I need. I won't steal anything.
TV was looking good today. It was looking good.
Yeah. 15-inch TV with the Western channel.
Hey man, it's bigger than that. It's like 42 inches.
Yeah, 42. That's a 32-inch TV if I ever saw one. I mean, don't ask men to measure anything because listen, we automatically add 3 inches, but that's a 32-inch TV.
How about the diagonal wagonal?
Yeah, it's the diagonal. Yeah, it's things rocking 720p with the Western
right?
with the Western channel on. You know,
hey man,
Jimmy, his leg is broke. You got to get to town.
Those older guys love that mess.
Well,
they love it.
Sometimes there's some old people there.
That's our bread and butter, man.
Listen. Sometimes I feel really out of place.
It's okay.
And most of the time, I feel like an old man. Like at work, I
It's
feel
okay.
like an old man because everybody's like in their 20s.
It's just your anus because it's been roughed up a little bit.
It is.
You have some
That's why I have such a bad demeanor.
propagated anal rugy.
My man. Doc, I got some leakage going on in a place that there shouldn't be.
There's some tissue out my butt that I don't know what it is.
It taint my and it taint my somewhere
In the gooch.
it's in the gooch.
In the gooch.
Um,
When in doubt.
yeah, but yeah. So
Tossing.
you gotta change the AP. It's driving me nuts. It's driving me nuts.
I mean, I can't do that. I don't know what I would be doing. I'm fine to move it, but I mean, why? I still don't understand why they did that if they're supposed to know what they're doing.
Well, I mean, you're making some assumptions.
I mean,
and I'm telling you right now, I've seen it before. I have been asked this question.
well, how hard would it be to move it to the ceiling then?
We just pop it up and stick it in the ceiling.
What about the wires?
Well, the wires will go with it.
How are you going to do that?
Well, I mean, the wires will go with it. I think the wires are actually coming down from the ceiling, if I'm not mistaken.
Stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do we get on this conversation?
I don't have a clue. I have no idea.
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
Oh
Porn.
my God. Porn, and we got to that.
I don't think
The AP with the WAP, the access point. You're talking about access point. I guess the porn stimulate access point, and then it just kept going into the rabbit hole of where our access point is in the office in the lobby.
Maybe, I don't know.
And it
Cut out the jibber jabber.
Mr. T said stop talking about it. No, I don't know. I don't know how we got there.
Okay, well, you at home listening viewers, young and small, young and old, great and small, all creatures here below, whatever. Whatever you are, wherever you are.
God rest you, merry gentlemen.
That's it. But we squirreled, so it's okay. It's okay. So, but the access point's not in the right spot.
No, it's not. It's not. And the TV's awful.
It's a good TV.
No, it's not. It's not. I mean, that TV is good for one thing. It's a dumpster. It is.
You can't donate that sucker, is what you're saying.
No, who's good? I mean, you could take that to like a pawn shop. Maybe they give you like $8. Maybe
$8.
Yeah.
Hey man, we could get us almost some Starbucks for $8. We'd have to get the venti.
Is that extra hot water?
I have no idea. I don't even know.
Is the venti the big one?
Who the hell? I'm like, I know.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I get confused. So it's like, well, what's a large?
No, I think the grande is let's see, venti.
Of course it is.
Venti, Starbucks. Venti. Starbucks sizes explained. This is the dumbest bunch of shit I've ever seen. A demi is 3 ounces. A short is 8 ounces. A tall is 12 ounces. Grande is 16. Venti is 20 ounces for hot drinks, 24 ounces for cold drinks, and a Trenta, Trenta,
Trenta, I guess,
is 30 ounces.
30 ounces.
That's bigger than the Venti.
Man, you gonna take a horse-sized shit if you drink a Trenta. That's a bucket of caffeine. That's what that is.
Of hot water with some caffeine in it.
You're gonna drink. That's a lot of hot water. I mean, your asshole is going to explode.
It's one of those elephant numbers.
What'd you drink? A Trenta? Are you okay?
Oh shit!
Trenta.
A demi
Is
made
like a demi
3 ounces
Lovato.
and is made solely for espresso shots. The history of the little cup goes all the way back to Italy in 1906.
Of course it does.
Oh, it's demi. It comes from the French word for demi-tasse, which means half cup in French. Even though a half a cup, isn't that 4 ounces?
It's
that's 4 ounces.
That's 4 ounces. Yeah.
What do the French know? They can't do math.
No.
We take every summer off. Yes, and your economy sucks.
True.
Wee wee.
Wee wee. Hey, speaking of wee wee,
if you drink a train, you're going to be wee wee in the lot.
so we were having a conversation before we went on the air, and you're welcome to tell your story, but I that's up to you. But I did want to tell mine. about
What a segue from Starbucks.
about accidentally.
You didn't accidentally piss in somebody's cup. I don't care what you say. That is impossible to accidentally whiz in somebody's cup.
So I'm at a friend's house, and there's like 5 or 6 of us.
There's no way this was an accident.
We were taking Roman candles and shooting them at each other.
Of course you were.
Of course, because we're boys.
That's what you
we're
do.
Stupid. And now you realize, you're like, oh, we could have died or had very severe burn.
Yes.
But whatever.
Yes.
And so two or three of us were drinking Mountain Dew, right? It's been a staple in my life for many years. And I'd already had my Mountain Dew.
Oh.
And somebody borrowed my drink to spit in, right? Right. No. So I no longer had a bottle.
Okay.
Now, at some point in time in the night, I had forgotten about this. And I had to take a whiz.
You sure that was the only Mountain Dew in there?
No, positive, 100%.
Okay, all
positive.
Right. Okay,
that was later. But like there was parents involved, and like because people were watching us shoot each other with Roman candles, because that's what you did in Southwest Virginia. And so I had to urinate, and there was females around, right? And so I'm like, I don't want to go back.
You had
in the
little
house.
stage fright.
No, that wasn't it at all. So like I had. No stage fright.
Hung like a moose.
But like I didn't want to just like pee on the ground because we were working, and there was people everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm like, okay. And so a friend of mine said, dude, just pee in that bottle. It's empty. It's laying there on the ground. Been laying there for probably, I don't know, an hour, right?
Okay.
So I pee in this bottle.
Okay.
Now again, you're gonna say, why didn't you just pee in the grass? I don't know. I don't have a good reason. It wasn't malicious. No, this bottle been laying there for an hour. I peed in the bottle. We threw it down, right? We went on about our way. About 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes later, one of the said friends, we're all sitting there, and he looks at a bottle. And again, I'm not even thinking, we're laughing and having fun. He goes, Dave, is this yours? I go, nah. Well, it was me. It was a part of me. Oh, it was some DNA.
No.
Yeah, he took one sip. And just threw up and said, this tastes like piss. And I said, hey, you know why? Because that's exactly what it is. I pissed in that bottle, and I'm sorry.
Man, I'd have beat your ass black and blue.
I deserved it.
I'd have been like, I'm shooting a Roman candle up your anus. I'm going to pin you down to the ground, and we're just...
I would not have even tried to fight back. I'm like, you know what? I deserve it, dude. Just knock a shit out. I mean, I deserve it.
That's why you also, if it's been late, don't pick a bottle up.
No.
I mean, so that's on him too for being stupid.
See, I did something similar once. It happened to me, but it wasn't piss. We were talking about the people in my family that used to smoke.
Was it pimp juice?
Which is basically everybody.
Was it pimp juice?
Except for me.
Was it pimp juice?
It wasn't. It was Mellow Yellow. And my brother, it was a half drink, whatever. My brother
half drunk.
And my brother Jerry, who might have been half drunk.
Oh, Jerry.
He used it as an ashtray, right? I didn't know. And I'm like 8-year-old kid. Hey, here's Mellow Yellow. I like Mellow Yellow. So I take a big swig of that shit.
With some cigarettes?
Yeah. With some nice ashes.
Give me some Mellow Yellow and some cigarettes.
Oh, it was disgusting. But then I got used to the taste.
I ate an ashtray.
Yeah, I got used to the taste.
And then you hit the bottle again, didn't you?
Well, now I'm doing it. Yeah, I do it for real now.
Yeah, let me put it in this.
I have other people smoke for me because I don't smoke. They give me ashes.
I heard you have trouble inhaling.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I tried to smoke once.
Couldn't get it in.
I just couldn't do it. No, I just couldn't get it in. No, shit, that ain't a problem. You so many kids running around this house.
You ever read that book? Have you ever read that book? You
can't get it in.
Have you ever read that book?
You can't get it in?
No, If I Could Only Get It In by my crotch. You ever heard that one?
Was it illustrated by Mike Hunt?
Yes. Yes, pictures. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cut out the jibber jabber.
I can listen to that all day.
T. Did you ever watch the Mr. T cartoon?
Oh, yeah.
Mr. T. Yeah.
Do you want to know what the funniest cartoon I think I've ever seen was, though?
Mm-hmm.
Is Mike Tyson Mysteries. If you haven't seen that, that is the funniest shit.
Mike Tyson Mysteries.
So
I never saw
Norm
that.
Macdonald, God rest his soul, did the voice of a chicken or a bird.
Stop.
And like, so he had a friend as a bird, and then he had a ghost that was his friend, and then like he had an adopted Asian daughter. And he was Mike Tyson. Like he did the voice, and they drove around in a van like the Mystery Machine, and they solved mysteries for people, except Tyson just kept screwing stuff up. And it was the funniest shit. Because he's making fun of himself the whole time. It is.
Was Mike Tyson on the show?
Yes, he did his own voice. Yeah. Yes.
When was this?
Oh, it was on it was probably 5 years ago. And they did like 4 or 5 seasons of it. Yeah. Mike Tyson Mysteries. Yeah. It's beautiful, man. I'm telling you
what
right
was
now.
This on?
I don't know. Heroin TV.
How do you find this stuff?
I just find shit, man. This is stuff just like this happens. I was probably just looking up videos of Mike Tyson.
You're drinking that Mellow Yellow with the damn cigarette in it. Oh, look, it's Mike Tyson Mysteries. All right.
That tar's got some grit to it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Mike Tyson Mystery.
No, I don't know about that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That's funny.
All right. That's good. It good.
Hey, speaking of shows, though, our friend, well, he's not our friend yet because he hasn't been on our show. So I can't call you a friend yet. I'm sorry. And that's Mr. Frank Slope.
Right.
From the Pinal County Sheriff's Department, Deputy Slope. And so I thought it would be fun. I didn't know if you've seen his show before.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it would be fun to just show a little clip of his show.
Love it.
We'll do a little promo for our friend here. And
friend to be.
Our friend to be. Yeah, he's not a friend yet. Hey, look at that. You see my mouse all kind of running over there. That's kind of cool. So yeah, this is just a little bit of Frank from I should probably turn that up. How do you work this mixer? From Fridays with Frank. Here you go.
Well, I'm Deputy Slope. I work for the Pinal County Sheriff's Office Traffic Unit. I am the one on the videos. So, and on videos, I pull people over just like I do in real life. The reason I stopped you is you're displaying expired registration.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you. I just went to the ATM because I'm on my way to the DMV right now.
Whatever.
Before they told me to go get it fixed. I'm going today.
The reason I stopped you is your registration's like a year
Oh,
expired.
3 weeks earlier. That's better.
I'm working. I get paid tomorrow, and I'm going up there to pay it. I pulled over.
And of course, he's got it on the video.
Did he give you a ticket?
No, he didn't give me a ticket.
When did you get pulled over?
Yesterday.
Oh. You're still driving this same car.
I know, but
I wrote you a ticket 3 weeks ago for no registration, no current proof of insurance.
Yeah.
You don't have current registration today. You don't have current proof of insurance.
I'm telling you, literally, look, this is $350 so I can go get it done.
So just so you know, when I stop people for having
my
expired
goodness.
registration, you know what they always tell me? I'm on my way to DMV right now. I'm on my way.
And you know what? You're not.
Right.
And I'm not going to cite you for not having current registration. For whatever reason, I believe you. Now, I could be a sucker, and it's happened before, so maybe I'm a sucker.
But no, I have.
It happens. So all I did was write you a no insurance ticket.
Okay.
No points on your license, nothing. Still something you have to have, okay? See your driver's license, please. Absolutely, you man. We see your driver's license, and I will definitely tell you. So my name's Deputy Slope. I work for the Pinal County Sheriff's Office Traffic Unit. The reason I stopped you is the posted speed limit on this road is 45, and your speed was 76.
Whoa.
I know California is a little different than Arizona because we're America here and you're California there. Do you guys use kilometers per hour? Because 76 is really close to what 45 miles per hour would be in kilometers. So did you get those two confused? The reason I stopped you is you made an illegal right-hand turn out of that driveway there, crossing all 3 lanes of traffic, and then failed to yield to the car that was there already in the left lane, and then caused it to slam on its brakes so it didn't hit you.
So that's so there you go, and Fridays with Frank.
So trying to tell him what's the deal? He almost made me hit.
He's got a sense of humor.
So he's definitely got a sense of humor.
Basically using his camera, I mean, obviously to be transparent with what's happening, maybe have some humorous moments.
Yeah.
And interesting to see kind of what people say when you get pulled over.
Yeah. I'm hoping he'll be on the show. He did respond back and say, hey, I'll check you guys out, because just so you folks know, before we have somebody on the show.
This is a squirrel episode for sure.
It is. This is the worst one for him to check out. But so this is, so before anybody's on the show, I always say, check us out first. Make sure we're a fit, because,
I don't know, man. Just tell him to come on. We'll just wing it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
when in doubt.
That's generally.
So have you ever gotten out of a ticket, Dave?
So I haven't been pulled over that many times. Because I don't go that fast. So I did have expired registration one time.
Yeah.
And I was pulled over 3 different times in the same day. One was a road check.
Wow.
And so they wrote me a ticket. Just
Right,
state trooper, he wrote me a ticket for expired registration. He said, you know, your registration is expired. And I'm like, well, as you can see by the look on my face, I did not. And so I had changed like my mailing address. And so, I mean, I know it went somewhere. Right?
Sure.
It's completely my fault. And I'm like,
Sure.
yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. He's like, well, I'm going to write you a ticket. And if you get it fixed, when you just come to court,
Right.
and we'll toss it.
And they expunge it. Yeah.
And I said, okay, cool. So about 4 hours later, another state police officer pulls me over for the exact same thing. I show him the ticket. I'm like, I just got this. And he goes, why didn't you take care of it today? I'm like, well, I don't have a good answer for that, but I didn't. And he said, okay, well, since you already got a ticket, whatever. Okay. Right. About 4 hours later, this was at nighttime, about 9 o'clock at night. No joke. A town police officer, I guess a city police officer is what you should say, also pulls me over. And I'm laughing when he gets up to the car. And I'm like, dude, let me guess, expired registration. He goes, yeah. And I showed him the ticket. And I'm like, you're the 3rd police officer that pulled me over today. And he said, perhaps you should get that taken care of and we will stop pulling you over. I think that was a record in one day. He didn't give me a ticket either. Actually, he was pretty funny about it. But anyway, that was in one day.
Bad.
Yeah, but I mean, I've only been pulled over for speeding twice in my entire life. I was guilty both times, and one time they.
Oh my gosh! Shut the front
and they were,
door.
And they.
Oh, Dave.
The second time they threw it out because I went to court and I said, well, I'll take driving school or whatever. So I don't get any points on my license. And the judge said, do we have Mr. Mann's driving record? And they're like, there isn't one. It's like, yes, he got his license and he's insured. There isn't a record. And they're like, okay, I think we can cut him a break. And then that was the last.
You're kidding me.
No, I don't drive fast. I don't do stupid. I mean, I use my turn signal.
You've only been pulled over twice.
Well, I mean, for speeding, three times for the other. 3 times for the registration, but that was in one day. So 3 days worth, basically, of being pulled over.
Okay, granddad. All right.
Shit. Well, how many times have you been pulled over? Well, tonight.
Well, let me. No.
An hour ago.
Fortunately, been a while. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean anything because that could happen at any moment. Been a while. When I was younger, a few times. I mean, it's funny you said that you've only been pulled over twice for speeding. I mean, I think I went to driving school 4 or 5 times probably.
Yeah.
When I was younger, because I didn't want my insurance to go, because that's when you go. It was never within. The only time I ever had I had 2 tickets in the same relative time frame. I think I can't remember how that went. I guess I was in high school. One was super legit. I mean, I was way over. The other one, the guy, I guess he was just having a bad day, because I was legitimately, this is the truth. I mean, I was speeding, but it was 51 in a 45, and it was legit. And he was just not having a good day. And I mean, and I told him, I was straight up. I was like, I know I was going 51 or 50. Totally understand. There was nobody else out there. It wasn't dark, and he was just not nice. And I don't know if he saw that I had the other ticket that was totally legit, where I was like 15 over. I don't know, but he was just not happy. And I was like, I'm getting a ticket. I know.
That's a crappy ticket.
I mean, that was a little rough, and because I was in the right-hand lane.
Yeah.
Legit. And there was not much traffic. I was not doing anything other than going a little fast. And again, like I said, I was over the speed limit, and he totally busted me.
Did the police officer, when you rolled down your window, say,
cut out the jibber jabber?
No. I try to say as little as possible.
Right.
Because I know, because here's the thing. I'm not getting out of it.
Right. Yeah.
It's not happening.
Right.
I mean, I'm just saying. So I have gotten out of 2 tickets. Those were both when I was actually in medical school.
Yeah.
And both times, just by chance, I had like stuff that I had, like my white coat, my ID, but it was like just kind of up in the front seat, and the cop had, it was different occasions in different years, and the cop just happened to see it, and he was very gracious and let me go. And again, I was not like crazy over the speed limit. It was like 10 both times.
Yeah.
But again, it was enough. You know, they'll usually give you about 7. You get over about 7, you're probably going to get pulled over.
Is it?
Ish. No. It depends. I mean, they can pull you over for 1 mile over.
You can.
But I've definitely had a few fast ones, you know, but it actually has been a long time. I mean, like, yeah, over a decade.
Well, that's a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah, like probably 12, 13 years. It's been a long time, which is great. I mean, I'm happy for that. And I do drive better than I used to. I don't speed like I used to. But yeah, I think I went to driving school 4 or 5 times. But again, I couldn't take the insurance hit.
Yeah.
So it was like it was cheaper to go to the school, you know, because they would only make you had to pay for the school and court cost. And the court costs were cheap. It was not expensive, you know.
Right.
And that was way cheaper than paying the ticket and then taking the hit on the insurance.
It's almost like they're trying to get money.
No.
I
know, right? I know.
Yeah.
And what I also found about our legal system, you can actually buy your way out of a lot of stuff.
Of course you can.
I have not ever had to do that, thank God. But it is possible. I have heard many stories now. Many moons have passed, and it's like, wow, you just hired a really expensive attorney, and you just basically paid your way out of it.
I watched a guy get out of a DUI once.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I watched it happen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was there with him to drive him home.
Yeah.
Because I knew that he wasn't going to have a license.
Yes.
Like I knew, we just knew, because it's like the second or third time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you might do jail time, but if not, he didn't even go in front of the judge. His attorney took him and they talked, and next thing you know, larger fine, probation.
Yeah. That you pay the money.
Yeah.
And you get out of it.
Yeah.
Because they want the money.
Yeah.
Shocker. Yeah, I've seen some. I've heard. Yeah, interesting things.
That's how I got all that out of all that porn stuff. Cocaine and hookers. And
briefcase full. I'm telling you, briefcase full of money, cocaine, and hookers.
That's right.
Speaking of that, hey, the attorney general, the motion was granted by the judge for the restraining order, for NIL stuff in the NCAA. We kind of squirreled from law enforcement. Did you see that?
I did.
So that went through. And I mean, I think that's huge. Now, I don't know what that's going to mean long term, but I think it does show them that. I mean, it is. It's the NCAA is not above the law, and the law. I mean, it backs up what was filed.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean, everybody's mad. Well, we're not mad, but people. Now you can just sue them. Yeah, you can.
You can,
because it's bullcrap.
Yeah.
So welcome to it, NCAA, because you didn't make any rules, and you try to retroactive some rules, and that's not legal. Just so you know.
Yeah.
It's not legal. Sorry.
Well, the NCAA is going to go away.
Yes.
I mean, and
Saban's going to be the grand poobah of whatever they create. You watch it; it will happen in the next 5 years.
Well, they were basically saying that the Big Ten and the SEC were going to band together,
yeah,
and say we're doing this, and then they made a list of schools they were going to invite to come with them. Thankfully, Florida State was on the list.
Yes.
So it's like Florida State and like Miami and some others, and like some big schools. But outside of that, they're like, yeah, that's, you guys can do whatever you want, but we're dropping, because it's funny, because you just hear about the NCAA and you think, oh, well, that just has to be there. Well,
no, it doesn't.
It doesn't have to be there at all.
No, it doesn't.
And just nobody's really ever challenged it.
Yeah.
2 things I think will happen. I think that the NCAA will just go away and Texas will become its own country. That's what I think will happen. Not in the same year. That's a lot. That
would be a lot in 1 year.
That's a lot for 1 year.
So if that happened, would we like adopt Puerto Rico or something to be the 50th state?
I don't know.
It's a province.
Well, I mean, Washington
or St.
DC.
Thomas. We could take St. Thomas.
Washington DC could become a state, because it's not.
I mean, that's true.
I mean, our nation's capital is not in a state. So
the District of Columbia.
It's conspiracy theory.
It is.
There's all kinds of stuffs that happens there. Stuffs.
It's kind of sus.
Alls it is.
It's kind of sus.
Alls it is.
It's sus.
It's sus. I'm not cool enough to say sus.
I can say it.
You're cooler than I am.
Dog, you're so sus right now.
Shit.
I mean, right? In the DC?
In the DC?
In the LBC? On a mission trying to find Mr. Warren G?
As we try to keep these shows at
I
an
see
hour
a car
now,
full of girls. No need to tweak.
So-
All you skirts know what's up with 213.
So what do you
So I
want?
hooked
What
the
do you,
left on 21 and Lewis. Some brothers shooting some dice. So I said, let's do this.
This is awful.
Cut out the jibber jabber.
That is going to be my ringtone. I love it. I found that the other night and I'm like, oh, that's going on the show. So as we start trying to have these things at about an hour instead of the hour and 40-minute rant that we normally do. So I've got a few things to talk about and you tell me which one you want.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay,
It's a this or that.
It's all
I
on you.
missed the this or that. So it's good.
We got several of them, right?
Oh, shoot.
So we can talk about landing on the moon again.
Oh, yeah.
We can talk about what Stephen A. Smith said about Pat McAfee.
Okay.
We can talk about Ryan Clark leaving ESPN. That's probably not that.
Nah, we know it.
Let's
We knew
just
it.
throw that out.
It was happening.
Or we can talk about one of the greatest NBA All-Star games of all
Oh,
time.
shoot. That was nobody plays defense and it sucks. Even Stephen A. Smith said it sucks.
He did.
And then he'd do something. That's it. That's all you got to talk about.
Yeah.
Because he loves the NBA and he was like, that was crap. So there you go. That we talked about it.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
So that's it. That's all I got.
Oh, you know which one I'm picking.
No, which one?
Because I honestly, I somehow, in the vortex of everything, I want to talk about what Stephen A. Smith said about Pat McAfee because I don't know.
It's
because I'm outside the loop.
So it's interesting because Stephen A. Smith, who has been
Who you love and adore.
Oh God, this guy.
Family and friends treat him like an ambassador.
I have never.
One night on the other side of town, a police dispatcher picked up a weird sound. Charles on the car phone asking for help. That's Wild Side by Marky Mark. In case you wonder, we're going to lose our sponsorship. We lost our 45 cents with our
Motley Crue did
35
cents too.
That was a different Wild Side.
So we didn't talk about it, but it'll be on a show for some other time. I was going to talk about the media and just how fucking important they think they are.
Been like that for a long time.
And just I'm not going to get into that, but just real quick, like what's funny to me is CNN spends their entire time talking about what somebody from Fox News says, and Fox News spends their entire time
because it's all about creating the controversy and getting mad,
talking about something that somebody on CNN
they don't actually have any news,
and none of them have done anything for the country. And the people that they bash on a daily basis have actually served our government or our country. So, even if you're on the left, right, middle, or somewhere
it's all the same garbage.
But it kind of falls into this story about Stephen A. Smith because it's all become shock journalism, right? It's like, what can I say?
Which you've mentioned before, and we've kind of briefly talked about.
And that's what and again, I don't like Stephen A. Smith. I just don't.
Do you like Stephen A. Smith?
I don't.
Forever.
He did do a second interview with Stern just recently.
Yeah.
That wasn't terrible. Like I listened to that and it's like it was almost
probably because he was sort of forced to be real because Stern would just eat him up.
I mean, Stern's turned into the liberal champion at this point. So, I mean, he has, and God, I love him. Listen, he'll never listen to this podcast, but if he does, Howard, I've been a fan of yours, and I will remain a fan of yours. But dude,
despite some of
you
drank too much of the Kool-Aid.
You grew something. And that's just what I'm gonna say. His hair out.
He grew his hair out. There you go.
But yeah, so that show just changed. So Stephen A. Smith this week was on a podcast, and I can't remember the name of the podcast. It was a weird name. It's like, I don't know, somebody has sex with bulls or something. It wasn't that. I forget what it was.
Do they play the serious song?
What's the serious song?
The Bull song, Serious S.I.
Oh.
It's the the Alan something project.
Alan Parsons
project. Yeah. Serious.
Yeah.
It's the Bulls intro song.
Yeah. No, they did not play that.
Oh, okay.
But it's something with a bull.
Okay.
Bullies.
No bull.
Bullies and
grapes.
I can trust a butcher.
Vines.
I can stick my hand up the
cut them off.
Cows,
put them in the chute, slice them up, dice them up, rubber band it up.
That's
two balls in a bat. Pitcher wears a hat, sliding in the home base, try to hit a home run. Swing, batter, swing. Not any of that.
So no. So he was talking about. So somehow Pat McAfee came up, and they were talking about Pat McAfee. And Stephen A. Smith said, "I love Pat McAfee." He said he's great. He's charismatic. He's able to wing it, and he can do so because he doesn't have to be so polished because he's white. I'll let that sink in. He doesn't have to be so polished because he's white. Okay. So on a network where I don't see a lot of polished people.
That's what I was going to say, because Stephen
A.
is so polished when he goes on those epic rants. And
I mean, you can't show me somebody on that show that was even poor Max Kellerman had lost a lot of that because of his ESPN and its shock journalism. And it just proves to me how important he thinks he is.
That's correct.
He hosts a show on ESPN.
He does.
On a network that's failing. It's proving it's failing. It works for a company that fails. And is continuing to fail.
This is true.
I mean, Disney as a whole. I mean, listen, when Disney and ABC, after ABC purchased ESPN, got together, right? And had their intercourse. What popped out was terrible. I mean,
had their I love how you
do you. I mean, it's like how does two pretty people get together, have sex, and have an ugly baby? I don't know, but that's what happened. That's what happened with ESPN. That shit has went downhill. Nobody trusts anything they say. It's all shock journalism. And Pat McAfee, who's one of the most entertaining people on that show, because he's not so ESPN, he really doesn't give a shit. I mean,
he does for $85 million, but not to them. He does it for his audience.
He just trashed one of his bosses on the air.
Yeah, he did.
Twice.
Good for him.
Yeah, and he was like, "Screw you! What are you going to do? I'm under contract." The worst they can do is kick him off the air, and they still have to pay him.
Right,
and he just can't do anything for a while. But they're not going to do that because the only two people that get any views on that network at all are Pat McAfee and Stephen A. Smith. That's it.
That's true.
And even Stephen A. Smith started his own podcast.
Right.
Because he knows what's coming.
That's right.
ESPN is going to be a shell of itself, and that's what needs to happen so it can actually get better again.
Right.
But for Stephen A. Smith to say he doesn't have to be so polished because he's white, putting himself at some level of prominence because, he had to work so much harder and whatever. And I don't know how hard he worked. I don't know. I can tell you this, a ton of people in broadcasting put their heart and soul into it and don't get anywhere. You know how I know?
How do you know that?
Because I'm one of those people.
Oh!
And last I checked, I was white. I busted my ass to try to get better. I busted my ass to try to get on major market radio. I did everything I could possibly do. And you know what? I just didn't make it because that's just how it works. It's just how it works. I mean, that's media. That's just how it works.
But now you're the star of this show.
But now I'm the
That's
star
why
of
it's
the show.
Dave and Doc.
That's right. That's right. The namesake had to be my. I don't even know how we came up with that.
Because you are.
I know how we come up with the name. I don't remember how we came up with the who's first, though.
Because it sounds better.
Is that what it was?
And it's alphabetical order.
Okay.
Alphabetical order.
And I remember
it had to be alphabetical order. I'd have lost my mind. I'd have been like, we can't do it this way.
I mean, I know that we talked about it. I don't remember the conversation.
Yes.
I think we both were like, okay, well, Dave and Doc sounds better. Like, okay.
Yes.
Because I was fine with Doc and Dave.
I know. But it's
care.
no. No.
It could have been Jimmy and Pete. I don't care.
I look like a Pete.
Yes. No. I've been wanting to tell you.
You do look like a Jimmy.
I do.
Oh. Put on a Jimmy hat and then we'll really laugh.
Well, if I'd have put on Jimmy hats, I would.
You wouldn't have 3 kids.
I wouldn't have to work till 75 years old.
That's right. I feel that.
But yeah. So again, it's.
And I didn't know he said that. So here's my thing about that. I just wish. I just wish we could get away from that on both sides. Because I mean, there's plenty of Caucasian people that say stupid stuff.
Yeah.
About minorities, and it's just stupid. But I mean, sometimes folks of other backgrounds and things, you're saying stuff. I mean, and particularly when you're not so polished, it would be my point. I'm like, you're not polished. You're going on a rant and spit's coming out of your mouth and I can see it. And, it's all about just getting fired up. I mean, I just don't understand why you have to say that.
There's not a shred of journalism on that show.
To take away
not a shred of
part of the fact that, I mean, Pat McAfee does do his research.
Mm-hmm.
He does have opinions and he shares the opinions.
Yeah.
And I mean, the guy's real. I mean, he's doing a backflip off the boat in the Tennessee River and he doesn't care.
No.
He's singing the stupid Georgia song and then he picks Bama, which is still one of my favorite moments, period. And he's doing stuff like that and I mean, he started out grassroots.
Yeah.
I mean, good grief.
Listen, I mean, has Stephen A. Smith done really well in the business? He sure has. Was that easy? I bet it wasn't because I've never been at that level, but I can imagine how hard that's been. I can imagine.
But isn't journalism and communication super hard anyway and competitive?
Yes.
So, I mean, everybody who's making it has worked really hard to get there.
Other than some ex-athletes.
Okay, that's fair.
Like that jackass that's going to be working for Fox next year. That dipshit. Screw his ass. Screw his ass. Screw his ass. How about JM16? How about that crap?
That wasn't really, but Joe wasn't really a commentator.
No, he tried it. It was awful.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, he's not.
Here's the thing, though. He knew he was bad, and he stepped away.
Right. Well, it's like Jason Witten. Jason Witten knew he was not good.
Awful.
With his spray can hair. That man took some serious heat.
Terrible.
That was mean. People were mean to him. That was mean.
They were. And Jason Witten's a good dude.
I love Jason Witten.
He's a really good dude.
I love Jason
He does a lot for kids, and like he's just a really, really
good
really
human
good dude.
Fantastic professional athlete, coaching football now.
Just played for a shit team.
Went to UT, of course, University of Tennessee, not that stupid Texas bull crap. Outran the safety from Michigan in the Citrus Bowl when we thumped them.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, bad Mama Jamma just happened to play for the Cowboys.
But he was bad. But it's almost like, again, I don't know if I feel like Stephen A. Smith tries to do what Howard Stern did in the 80s. I'm going to shock everybody to the point where even the people that don't like me are going to watch me.
No, it is. I agree.
And it worked
because it gets him more views. It does.
And just saying stuff like this about Pat McAfee, he didn't even have to bring it up. I think they asked him about Pat McAfee. I didn't listen to the whole interview, so I don't know. It's bad journalism on my part, but shit, I'm not getting paid for it. So they asked him, all he would have to say was, I'm a big fan of Pat McAfee.
Right.
He's been on our show. I've been on his.
Right.
He's a great dude. That dude is super talented.
Just leave it out.
And just leave it at that. Yeah. You didn't have to say the rest of it.
But he couldn't let it go.
Couldn't let it go because you got to keep that stuff alive. You got to keep talking about it and like keep it just boiling, It's like we just can't turn the stove down for a second. And again, it's not even a racial commentary on my part because I honestly, obviously there's racism out there. There's people, there are just racist people. There just are.
I'll say it again. I mean, it's multiple sides of this. It's not just always one way.
Right.
And I think that does get missed. It's like, but it does happen.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing like this case that's come out. I mean, about the football players that were basically assaulted by the athletic trainer. Did you see this?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Colton High School. I mean, she basically was grooming. Yeah, now, I mean, you can say what you want, but I mean, grooming high school guys and doing stuff with them.
Yeah.
I mean, so it just same thing as people are grooming gymnasts and things like that. From the female side. So it comes from all directions, and I think that doesn't make it okay. But it's like nobody's going to say, well, Stephen A., I mean, maybe you're racist because you're calling out somebody that I mean, seemed to start grassroots, kind of build up, get his following and, try to work at it. And you're like taking away some of his work that he put in with that comment.
It's just when you win, say little. when you lose, say less. And Stephen A. Smith's won, right? I mean, he's the head guy at ESPN at this point. He can do whatever he wants. Dude could whip his dick out on the middle of First Take. Is that what his name of his show is?
First Take.
Is it your take?
No,
take?
It's First Take.
His take?
Yeah, with Shannon Sharp and
take it up to
Molly Karam.
Yeah.
Who's married to Jalen Rose.
Fab Five. Don't take a timeout.
That was Weber.
I know, but
which they don't get along. Or
no,
I guess they buried the hatchet now.
He probably wanted to bury a hatchet that night. right in his skull.
Right.
But it's like, you got this show. It's the number one show on ESPN. Then you got your podcast that I'm sure he's doing well with.
Yeah, I mean, he does a lot of guest spots and things.
He does. He wrote a book. It's a bestseller. Dude, count your money and just go home. Because that's what McAfee does.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. So McAfee calls out his boss. Yeah, he's not calling out other journalists. He's calling out his boss.
Yeah, McAfee's like, this is bullshit, and this guy's trying to sabotage my show, and he can go straight to hell. Well, you know that your boss don't care.
Yep. So, he is.
That's
my
guy.
Is, but he's doing it. So
I'm
just gonna air it out.
Yeah. So again, it's just another Stephen A. Smith makes me just not like him again, even more.
It's unnecessary. Like I said, just
it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary on all kinds of fronts. But like this guy, he's won. You've made a ton of money, right? And deep down, maybe he's actually a good sports broadcaster. I don't know. We'll never know because we'll never see the true Stephen A. Smith. You're never going to see it.
No.
He's always on.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I always bring up Stern, but if you guys have ever listened to Stern ever, Benji, who's been a writer for Howard Stern for, 20, 30 years now, he's never out of character. He's always in character, and like they can't even have real conversations with him on air because he just never breaks character.
Right.
And that's just Stephen A. Smith. He's just never.
Like I said,
I would love to talk to the guy like without any cameras or microphones if he conducts himself that way. Sometimes I'm not sure. I think he just carries a camera around with him.
Mostly so he can make fun of the Cowboys.
Yeah. It's the only thing he and I would agree with, right? When he just laughs at the Cowboys. But I don't understand. And, and the whole, just the things that he says about people. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo dated a porn star. He 100% did. But it doesn't mean you get to call him porn star Jimmy. Like, is it funny? Sure. But, do you think Garoppolo like that? Had I been Garoppolo, I would have begged ESPN to be on the show, and I would have made him call me that to my face. I said, hey, I'm sitting in front of you. I'm an athlete. And I'm going to jack you up.
You know what happened when Jim Rome called Jim Everett Chrissy Everett in front of him, and he said, you know what? Say that again. Yep. And he started to say it, and Jim Everett took his sorry behind to the floor.
Yeah,
flipped the table. Rome's cussing, and he's got a hold of him. And had they not cut away, and
it took about 6 people, as I hear, after they cut away for a break.
Yeah, Jim Everett's a large man
to pull Jim Everett off,
and that's an athlete. Again,
he was like, "Yeah, you said that." He's like, "I bet you won't say it to my face." And he goes, "Well, we'll see." And he goes, "Okay," and he did, and nope.
And I've never been a Jim Rome fan either.
Me either.
So that was a good moment in history.
Talk about a guy who goes from being polished to unpolished. There's a guy.
Truth.
Rome.
Truth. That's very true.
That's
all for more ratings, for more likes, because that's what we want.
Yeah,
that's what we want.
It's just shock journalism, but yeah. Anyway, so Stephen A. Smith, that was that, and I still don't like him.
Rolling on. No,
I still don't like him.
No. Sorry, Stephen A.
Such a tough time of the year. There's no sports to talk about.
We could talk some basketball. Dalton Connect. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. My Vols playing some good ball. We just got to get consistent. The
tournament's coming up, so.
Go Vols. Go Blue Devils.
How's Duke doing?
They're all right. They're top 10. They're okay. They're okay. They're okay. They
I've always kind of been a Kentucky fan.
They're getting... Greatest shot in NCAA tournament history since your Kentucky team home in 1992. It'll be coming up next month in March, the anniversary of that.
I remember the shot.
2.1 seconds in the Philadelphia Spectrum.
It's like that was the greatest shot, just like the greatest pass ever thrown was Montana to Clark.
Good catch. Could be. I still take Christian Laettner over. Because Pelfrey and Feldhouse, you forgot to play defense. Because you choked.
I'll take Joe over anybody in any sport ever.
Nah.
What was the horse that won?
Michael Jordan. I'm taking Jordan in any sport.
Really?
If he can practice and have a moment, yeah, I'll take Jordan in any sport.
Jordan over Jerry Rice.
Jordan over Jerry. Oh, yeah, Jordan in any sport. Yes, I'll take him. Jordan. Michael Jordan.
Really?
Yes.
Over Jerry Rice.
Over Jerry Rice. Yes. It's close. That's a good point. But no, Michael Jordan. You know why?
Because he's polished.
Because he's a killer. Michael Jordan's a killer.
Yes.
Jerry Rice had a little bit. Michael Jordan was a killer. See it. I'm just saying.
What about Jim Druckenmiller? Play for Virginia Tech.
I know. I know. Go Hokies. No.
God, that guy was awful.
Go Vols. Go Blue Devils. Jerry or Michael, you really couldn't go wrong because you know you got a winner.
It's true.
No doubt.
Go Knowles. Go Dave and Doc. It's episode 72.
That's right. Thank y'all for listening, as always.
All things on our website at DaveDoc.com. That's DaveAndDoc.
Keep subscribing.
.com. Getting up there around 37,000 or so. So
we appreciate it.
Fun stuff.
Y'all be safe.
See you now.
See you.
Bye.